Good evening, guys. Happy Independence Day. Please confirm that you can hear me and you can see me well. I am streaming from a little bit different location. I will tell you more about that later, but please let me know if you can hear me and see me well, because that's important. Thank you so much for your beautiful congratulations with the Happy Independence Day. Oh, thank you so much. I'm really glad that everything is fine. And first of all, I would like to congratulate all people who celebrate the Day of Independence of Ukraine with this truly important holiday. I wrote that on my Twitter that Ukraine is more than 32 years old. That is true. We have centuries of really interesting history, and with all of your support and all of our resilience, I believe we have centuries of future ahead of us. So I congratulate all of you because you are friends, you are a cultural choice. So congratulations. And I will pronounce that in Ukrainian, Z Dnем Незалежності. Love you all and super grateful that you've joined me. Also, I would like to thank Martin and Spencer, who work with me in very difficult conditions because I often decide on streams spontaneously, and they are very tolerant and very kind to me. By the way, Spencer speaks good Ukrainian, so you can contact him in Ukrainian. And Martin knows a lot about Ukraine, some things that I don't know. Anyway, I'm really glad to have you friends in my life, and thank you for all what you do on the channel and apart from the channel, because I discovered what kind of people you are, and I'm really proud to have you in my life. So, maybe a few words about where I am, because you're a family, you have to know. You know that Independence Day is typically a holiday. I mean, like free day, apart from being a holiday. Right now, Ukraine does not have official free days, but with my schedule and no university yet, I'm able to spend some time. Svitas, I have shown you previously it on my YouTube. If you want, I can show you more tomorrow. But like this is the largest lake and really deep lake in the northern west of Ukraine. I have a lot of beautiful childhood memories, and it's really not far away from where I live, so it was a spontaneous decision. And I decided you will like it if I take you out too. Thank you so much for all of your beautiful greetings from different countries. I've read a good uh, I've read a good comment, like how many oblasts have we collected, and it's really interesting because there are these small details that I love so much that you um, show your connection to Ukraine, and this is really best oblast. Yeah, thank you so much for coming, New York Oblast. Yeah, Canada, I think that nature of Canada and, for example, of my region are really alike. We have lots of forests, we have lots of lakes, and I think with opportunity like to exchange and see more about each other. Thank you so much for your congratulations. Незалежність is the way we say independence. Незалежність, and like the meaning is directly the same. Sarah and Lucas, thank you for buying me coffees. The house I'm sitting in has a very beautiful wooden smell because it's made of wood, and outside it's really warm. I know that all over Europe it's really hot. And by the way, guys, I follow very attentively there's really awful things that happen to a planet. I mean, fires that were in Canada, that were on Hawaii, and I read a lot. I don't share much on my channel because like I'm focused on the troubles of my own country, but my heart aches for you and for the planet in general. And I think that during this last years, starting from climate and COVID, and now with war in Ukraine, the world shows us how actually connected we are, and like that we cannot close the eyes on the problems and hardships that people face far away. That's why I'm really grateful that you are my friends and you can relate this challenging time. So honestly, I'm sure that in future when someone needs help, lots of Ukrainian people will be ready to provide it. Thank you for complimenting my vyshyvanka. I cannot tell you that I'm like a huge fan of like I'm wearing them all the time, because there are people who wear them a lot. My mom loved vyshyvankas and she always wanted me to have a lot of them. She did not have many, but she wanted me to have, and she was the one to inspire most of my purchases or to buy ones for me. So this one we've selected together with her. And if it's interesting, and I think that today we will keep a little bit our topic to Ukraine and greetings to Norway. I think that we will keep closer to Ukraine, and I would be happy to answer some questions that you want to know. And so I was like choosing, I wanted a little bit unusual colors. They can be very colorful. They differ from region to region. There are even various, including digital platforms, where you can read about the specific ornaments characteristic for each region. And but the most wanted mine to be a little bit different. So this one has blue, green, and yellow. And out of my like 3 vyshyvankas that I have, that is not a lot. And I have to confess, I see like that vyshyvankas can be really expensive. Mine are not. I did not invest in them like seriously, and typically I like them to be natural, made of linen, not something artificial. They are not made in China. These ones are made in Ukraine, but they are not like super expensive, because sometimes you can find the vyshyvankas that like cost $1,000, and that's a lot for me. Thank you so much for buying me coffees. Actually, I did not $1,000, and that's a lot for me. Thank you so much for buying me coffees. Actually, I did not. Oh, I drank one coffee in the evening just before our stream because I wanted to be fresh and active. And hello, sister. Thank you so much for a compliment. And yeah, linen is always, or linen. I'm sorry, one is not the other. The very beautiful, I have just seen a very beautiful sunset, though it's very warm here, and I swam in the lake and the water is warm. Though many Ukrainians actually live according to calendar. This is a problem that see blizzards and cats freeze on the roads. People will congratulate each other with the first day of spring. Then, even if it will be plus 38 on the 1st of September, all of us will say that it's kind of autumn. And even if it is hot, you have to realize autumn has come. So there are lots of people in Ukraine who somewhere in the middle of August will stop swimming because it's autumn and you don't swim in autumn, but I do. And I took one really beautiful picture with the coffee tonight. The sky was so beautiful, and there were seagulls. How do you call them if they are seagulls but not on the sea? Then just gulls. Like, I mean, that we have lots of them on this lake, and the water is very clean. it is rich with silver on these lakes where I'm right now. And back in history, I've read like stories. They are like official documents that many uh, aristocratic ladies in Warsaw waited for this water to be delivered um, in silver and in glycerin. I don't know. No, these ones are big, and seagulls like smaller. But I like them. They eat fish, and when I was a child, we used to come with my parents to, oh my god, the bridges, like this small, they are not bridges because they are made of wood, and they like end in the water and feed them. Yeah, chaika. By the way, we have a t-shirt that is also named seagull, but because chaika is also the name for Cossack boat that they were using. I'm demonstrating. I honestly don't like this sofa behind me. It's kind of I don't know, not my style, but that's not my sofa, so it's okay. And I'm trying to demonstrate you most of my like vyshyvanka because I honestly like it. Thank you so much. If you could see like all the preparations that I've made here, like I have one table standing on another table. Thank you so much for your no, it's a new sofa. It's not from the 60s. It's not the Soviet style, but perhaps they wanted it to be like, I don't know, Venetian or something. And it's so wood smells well, and everything is so natural. And then they add this chic. Uh, um, so thank you so much. um, anyway, so this water is really beautiful, and you can see a lot of fishes swimming. Literally, when you like watch, look down, and you can see them, and then you can eat them. I'm sorry. um, Perhaps I will be happy to answer some of your questions about, like, mainly, I think it would be totally okay to focus more on Ukraine today. And I have so many, like yesterday, I was on a meeting with Aspen. You know that I am a part of Aspen project, which deals with the role of social influencers in times of crisis and war. And we were talking about various like interesting things. Like we have a couple of online meetings, then we are going to meet in Prague later. We had a meeting in Berlin, and we were talking about trolls, and like the many of them, and rubber bracelet. I have to confess you, when I read comments of trolls, I kind of feed from their energy. And I had lots of people sharing how bad they feel about being like asked something, or and I realized that I have just a contrary feeling towards trolls, because like when you have real Russian orcs on the streets killing people, do you think any of the comments or questions like about the way I look, or when I'm going to become a commander of the tank crew, can make me angry? You give me your energy, Russian trolls. I feed from it. I'm sorry, but that's true. Uh, so many were asking, okay, what, for example, how many wristwatches do I have? I have 3 wristwatches, one Casio, pink, and 2 fossil watches. One is 13 years old, and another one I bought this summer. None of them cost more than like $50. And I'm like almost 40, and I'm a professor at the university, and I can. By the way, I'm a kind of person who is not ready to spend much money on something very expensive, and I think it's really wrong, especially during this period of time. But a bit of Advertisement then, we have decided to make 50% discount on all of our merch in our shop. Links are everywhere below each of my videos and on the channel. And you can check if you like it. This discount is active until 10 a.m. tomorrow. Because all of that is really good on like it's really good if you feel like wearing something connected with Ukraine, and sometimes it helps to bring topics in conversations. So -15 for all of our merch. Thank you so much for the photos that you send. We have a joke like with my designer who helps with the designs of this t-shirts that like our t-shirts live better life than we do because you send so many beautiful photos from different corners of the world, and you a better life than we are. Okay, let's get back to well, I'm not yet 40. That's why I look better than 40. But anyway, you know, like 40 is new 30, 50 is new 40, and so on. So question, how Ukrainians are getting ready for winter. Like last winter, lots of Ukrainians bought generators, but we do realize that with orcs, you cannot be ready. And of course, they will invent something new. And like people have generators, lots of people thought about how to make their houses warmer, alternative sources of energy. Also, like we've learned that, for example, universities can take longer breaks in winter and then work during a lighter seasons. I mean, because it's not only about cold, it's also about light. That's what I feel right now, for example, because it's getting dark really quickly. It's not that cold, but for example, I don't know. By the way, when I'm traveling, it's something that I feel when in some countries the sun sets really quickly. The sun sets really quickly. For example, when I was rushing to our stream, it was 8:30 p.m. and it was already pretty dark. And thank you so much, Johnny, for buying me so many coffees. That's really energetic. But anyway, thank you for your support and letting me do what I do, because I really love that, and it's true inspiration that I'm able to do that. Okay, a question I cannot ignore is a question about Prigozhin. I have recorded a video about that. You can watch it, and well, he is definitely an enemy, and to have -1 enemy is good. But we have to understand, like, he was quarreling, arguing with Russian military because he wanted more Ukrainians to be killed and to be killed effectively. That's why when his march took place, many people were like saying, "Oh, let's support him" or something. No, these are monsters, orcs fighting with each other, ready to eat each other. And look, we have 639 watching, and we had 639 likes. That was beautiful for me to understand what that was. Because for a certain period of time, I believed, especially after he went to Belarus, started training, that it was staged. Like, and many of you guys commented that, like, that was staged. Now we realize it wasn't. Then why did he stop? Perhaps not get much support as he expected. And you know, yesterday I was talking about that, and this is something that terrifies me to a great extent. If it was not during the period of war, where like lots of my people die daily, innocent people, then perhaps um, I would react like differently. But one of the things that terrified me is that actually everybody knew that Prigozhin will die soon. And everybody knew that. And it was really like awful. And there is one short story, or a novel that I have read before, is the village knew that the man will be killed, and it is like awful that all of us knew the man will be killed, and he was. Guys, I see that my moderators say that internet breaks from time to time. If you have such problems, I'm sorry, but like I'm into the wild and I'm happy that it is present here. So please forgive that, but from time to time I see that comments. So if something goes wrong, don't think it's with such evil country, and Putin is a president, and people know that he will be killed, and he was killed, and oh my god, this is, I don't know, how do you call a person who cooperates with criminal? And it's awful. Thank you so much, Egil, for buying me coffees, and that's a good thing. So, I don't know, some advice. So it's good that we have -1 enemy, but it is bad that Putin made himself stronger with that. I am sure he was like very humiliated after that march, and he was waiting to take a revenge, and now he took this revenge, and he feels super proud of himself. So of course we had lots of memes yesterday where Prigozhin says like, come join me, Shoigu, and that would be really good. But anyway, thank you, Peter and Robert, for buying me coffees, and happy Independence Day. And one thing that I want to say is that, like, in every country, okay, we had some political murders and discovery and elsewhere, and all of these things, they are not like proved, and sometimes you think you know who killed President Kennedy, then you doubt. But here everybody knows, and even President Biden said like, okay, it's pretty obvious. Here everybody knows, and even President Biden said like, okay, it's pretty obvious that Putin killed Prigozhin, and nothing will be done. So I think there should be a moment when global community will decide to liberate Russians from this regime, and not say the way Scholz said, like, we are not going to interfere, Putin is a president. No, Putin is a criminal. Let's finally agree on that he is not a president, he is a criminal that keeps all the world as hostages. So that's true, and thank you so much for your congratulations. Independence Day is very and very and very important for us. I have always liked this holiday, and many Ukrainians do. It's a very beautiful season, like August in Ukraine is, and many Ukrainians do. It's a very beautiful season, like August in Ukraine is a nice month. Typically, we had like lots of fireworks, just as you do, guys. But now, of course, we don't have PTSD or people who are soldiers who returned back, and this is um, really like back in 2014. It was um, many stopped doing fireworks, and now, of course, it's forbidden. So I think there are lots of things that are normal, but when you will communicate with Ukrainians, you will realize that they don't feel okay about that. One thing is like fireworks, also thunderstorms. So many people are afraid of thunderstorms, not because of thunder and lightning, beautiful Vishwanka, but because of that it reminds of the sounds of explosions. And what else? What are the other unusual things? Um, like I've told you that I have this trigger with candles that I don't like them anymore, at least at this moment. They definitely don't give me romantic atmosphere or something, and they remind me of blackouts and really hard times. Um, and what else? Well, anyway, there are lots of my complicated. Uh, also, uh, also, I would like to say that there was a question about Ukrainian independence. Well, it was proclaimed on the 24th of August 1991. I actually went to school on the 1st of September 1991. And it was really difficult, from what I understand right now, for our teachers to conduct this very first lessons because, come on, a year ago they would speak about Lenin, and now they started talking about Shevchenko. But that was a very inspiring and patriotic moment. But I personally agree that Ukraine is definitely older, and we don't have to think that it was created in 1991, because this actually repeats Putin's and Ruski Mir narratives. And well, like Kiev Rus is our ancient motherland that changed its shapes and borders, but remained existed even when was divided between empires. And many of your countries were parts of Austro-Hungarian Empire, Polish Commonwealth, Russian Empire. This does not mean that your countries were parts of Austro-Hungarian Empire, Polish Commonwealth, Russian Empire. This does not mean that your countries or your nationalities did not exist. They were parts of these huge empires, and many did. But these empires fell apart, liberating new peoples, and most of like nations were shaped politically in the 19th century. In the 19th century, Ukraine was definitely visible and present, and we had a really brief um, period of independence, but very important one in 1918, 1922. And then we were occupied by Bolsheviks, by communists. Of course, there were some supporters. From what I understand, the way they saw Soviet Union was totally different from what it happened to be in reality. And uh, but still, this 4 or 5 years was so important for the tradition, for saving a Ukrainian national character, Ukrainian national language. So honestly, I don't like it when people say, "Oh, my country is so young," or that, like, you don't know a lot about Ukrainian history. Lithuania, a country that I like and respect a lot, they speak about, they even have the celebration of restored independence. And I would like it to be that way, because this is a restored independence. lost many times, that's tragic, but regained always. And I am sure, I want to believe that this really bloody and violent war is our final war. Really bloody and violent war is our final war, where we must win over our eternal enemy. Russia always wanted to erase and destroy our country, and we will win. And believe me, there was a question how people feel in Ukraine, and I saw a lot of articles comparing the mood of people in 1991 with 2000 and so on. And people in this really dark times, in this really challenging period of our history, feel much more optimistic than it was in the beginning of 2000s, because we have finally uh, seen everything and we know our way, and this way is to win the war, to return to our global, diverse world, but through friendship, through travels and other things. And many people feel more optimistic and more proud than it was. So actually, of course, Putin failed. The problem is that like so many beautiful people die. You cannot imagine, like my Facebook, I'm not active on Facebook. People say Facebook is dying. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. I honestly post more there, and I try to give different like things lighter. For example, my Instagram is lighter than other stuff, but that's the way I feel about the platform. But uh, my Facebook, you go out and you will read and you will see photos of many beautiful people who died, and you read their bios and you realize that they were good scientists, they were IT specialists, they were actors, beautiful people who died. And you read their bios and you realize that they were good scientists, they were IT specialists, they were actors, and they had a totally different plan for their life. And Russia took it away. No one else. Russia, no one else, and Russian people. So this is their responsibility, and I believe for such crimes and sins, people have to be punished. Thank you so much, all beautiful people, to your countries, to your oblast, to Austria. We feel your support and we value your support, and it means a lot. Your support and we value your support, and it means a lot. Support and it means a lot. Uh, Okay, if I do have some problems with internet connection, you have to forgive me because I am in the wild. Heather and Scott, thank you so much for buying me coffees and for celebrating Independence Day with me. You cannot imagine how grateful I am that you cannot imagine how grateful I am that so many people care about Ukraine, that you learn about us. Greetings to New Zealand and to the Isle of Man, and that I have so many friends all over the world. And of course, we cannot forgive modern Russia. I understand that in future, all of us will have to look for the ways uh, to live and coexist. 140 million people will not be killed, but uh, they it cannot be accepted, because when you see the funeral of a 16-year-old Sofia who died in Chernihiv while his father was a soldier on front lines, um, how can you explain that? How can you say it can be forgiven? And there, Bucha and Ukraine, in Bucha and Irpin, I'm sorry, there were lots and lots of posters of people who lived on the streets and their family are looking for them. And they may never be found. And these are like nice old men, small children, and I have spoken with one mother who lost her son as a soldier on front lines, and um, and she said that soldier on front lines, and um, and she said that what people do not understand is that they sometimes one of the tragedies that can follow even the death of your relative, of your loved one, of your close one, is the fact that his or her body will never be found. And when they find the body and they are never be found, and when they find the body and they are able to bury a person, they feel relief. It sounds awful, but I understand what they mean. And there are many, like, so deep tragedies in my country happening every day that by name in a semi-safe zone where people still get killed with Russian missiles. But when I deep into the understanding of what is happening, it's so tragic. It's just like your brain and your heart works to save you and to distract you. And what can you do? Like, if you dissolve in all of that tragedy and all of that hatred, you will not be able to fight back, and we still have to win this war. And this is an existential fight. I want to um, say, and I perhaps will record a video on that. um, one of the things that worries me is that, like many of us and many of you and me to a great extent, we did not realize how different Russia is. I mean, different on every level of their life. And many people who come from this really bad, depressive regions of Russia, they are happy to die, or like they see war as a great opportunity, because like they are drinking. It's a chance for them to go out for a couple of months, die somewhere in Ukraine, and their relatives will receive money, or they will get some money. They see it, relatives will receive money, or they will get some money. They see it as the chance of their life, not a curse of their life. And it will be very difficult to win them because of the number of people they have and the number of people that they are ready in this war. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Run Forest and go down if you're with me and watching. Thank you so much for being a friend all this time. So maybe some more questions about Ukraine. And thank you so much to Martin and Spencer, who work really hard for us to get 1,000 likes. And thank you guys for being so kind to me. Well, the understanding of the Second World War is very perverted in Russia. They claim that Russians are the only victors of this war because they agreed to divide the countries, and that is why it's a problem. Greetings to countries, and that is why it's a problem. Greetings to all of your beautiful countries. That is why it's a problem. Greetings to all of your beautiful countries. Вітання до Швеції, Sweden. We share the colors, and I remember when I was traveling, sometimes people will come up, and if you have blue and yellow, they will say, "Oh, Sweden, Sweden," and you think, okay, Yes, as you said, someone's beautifully said, Joe, Russia is a tragedy. Yes, honestly, Russia is a tragedy for its people, and Russia is a tragedy for the world. And I don't know how can we, uh, what can we do with all of that? Can you hear me? Because I see that perhaps something went wrong. Okay, I'm back, I guess. I hope that if my video froze, it froze in some, like, I'm sorry if the connection is not really good. Good. But I hope that if I freeze in your screens, I freeze in some beautiful moment. So, how many subscribers do I have? I have 82,000 friends because my subscribers are my true friends. And I really, really, really hope that, oh, there will be more of us. And of course, if you can invite some of your friends or people who care about Ukraine, do invite them because it's important for the future. For the future victory of Ukraine. Thank you so much for the future victory of Ukraine. Thank you so much, Morton, for buying me coffees. And well, the best way, of course, is to come to Ukraine and get the t-shirt because if you can try it on, it always works the best. But there are also shops that work online and that allow doing that. Um, can you hear me and see me? Because my videos freeze from before. If please forgive that connection. Good. So the best way, of course, to buy your vyshyvanka in Ukraine, that's where you can try them on because they are very tricky and they are not that simple as t-shirts, and it may be sometimes like problematic. But also there are lots of good online shops where you can have this opportunity. I had a question. I had a question if I am in the Carpathian Mountains, but I'm not. Okay, guys, I see that the connection is getting really bad, and perhaps we will have to break. Um, um, I don't know. I guess I have. I don't know. I guess I have some troubles with connection, and